Hello and welcome back to Suspend Fanimation. It's been a while. How's everyone doing? Welcome. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's season two, the second and final season of the animated series Pacific Rim The Black on Netflix. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. If you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you kind of want to roll the dice, see if YouTube will actually notify you when I come on live, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you. It's always up in the air. But if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go take a look at suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I post it up every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So I'm not doing a spoiler free version of this one because if you haven't watched season one, season two is not going to make any difference anyway, because you're not going to understand what the hell's going on. So, and by the way, I did cover season one in another Is It Worth My Time when that first came out. So that's up there as well. So, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the series. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it or not. It's up to you. And you can come on back. This will be a video and you can comment down below in the comment section. All right. Giving you enough time. There we go. Um, so I really didn't like the first season. I figured I would close this out, honestly, since it was going to be the final season anyway. It seemed like a good bookend. And also, I needed something for Is It Worth My Time? So it happened to fall into place there. I'm going to say this: the second season was better than the first season, but I still don't like the main characters, Haley and Taylor. I still wanted them to die. I really did. Yeah, Haley and Taylor were just two screamy little kids that just you kind of wanted May to kick them out of the Jaeger and get eaten by kaiju. That's pretty much what you want in all this. In the second season, though, they do introduce a cool concept. These women called the sisters, who actually live with the kaiju dogs, and what they're all about is they can control kaiju. They can call them in and use them. They live out in the black, and they inject themselves with kaiju blood and are no longer really human, if you will. And they look at Boy, who Haley and Taylor found in season one, who turned into a kaiju, which we find out that he's a human kaiju hybrid. Um, they look at him as the Messiah, that he is the answer to all their prayers, if you will, because they worship kaiju as well. And they are trying to kidnap him to turn him to their will, all that kind of stuff. And that's actually a more interesting story than any of the shit that we got in season one. Why couldn't we just stuck with that? I mean, this is what we should have been going with instead of what we went through in season one. Season one was fucking boring compared to what we got here in season two. But season two does have its problems as well. So of course they're searching for their parents, supposedly in Sydney, because their parents were both Jaeger pilots as well. And we find Brina. Brina has become a sister because what the sisters do is they kill the men and then they turn the women, is what they do by injecting them with kaiju blood, and they become part of the tribe, if you will. So they find their mother Brina. She is a sister, and yeah, basically they use the Jaeger and the drift. I shouldn't say they do. Um, the dude who um Richter, I believe his name is, was basically the really nasty kind of dude who he wiped May's mind and all that kind of stuff. He does it as kind of a form of penance to help find Brina's mind someplace inside her own mind, to find her, if you will, and dies in the process. And But before he dies, of course, he gives Spider, his little dude, May's memories on a conveniently on a little stick card. So she's got her memories back of her time before him, which is all kinds of weird as well. Um, Brina, of course, ends up dying at some point too along the way, and because of course she just can't hold on any longer. The high priestess of the sisters is just relentless, pretty much. I mean, she is throwing kaijus at these kids and this Jaeger as they are tromping across the black trying to get to Sydney. They finally do get to Sydney, of course. The Jaeger does end up getting destroyed. Um, they survive it all. They kill a boy kills the high priestess, if you will, and everyone lives happily ever after in Sydney. They find their father. He's in Sydney. He survived. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird ending where the kids, Haley and Taylor are like, and these are our new siblings. Yay. Don't mind that he's half kaiju and can grow into a gigantic beast when he gets mad. Yeah, in May, all this time, her whole thing for sticking with Taylor and Haley is very questionable. We don't really have a motive for her doing that, other than she really has no other place to go. So, I mean, yeah, was it the best of series? No, no, was it anywhere close to the best of series? Like I said, interesting concepts. The sisters were probably the best concept out of all of this. Boy was just kind of boring more than anything else. But is it worth your time? No, not really. Because I mean, you have to go through season one first in order to understand season two, and it's really not worth going through season one in order to get to season two. And also, the end of season two is just kind of like meh, it just fizzles out. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a pass on this one. You guys can skip it if you were interested in it. The animation's great. I mean, but it's of course 3D animation made to look like 2D animation. So yeah, and of course the kaiju design is they didn't make any new kaiju out of all of this. I did find the Bunyip Man is what he was called, or the Kaiju Whisperer, or just crazy guy who was living out with the kaiju. I did find that character kind of funny. He was very brief and he ends up getting eaten anyway. So that was funny, but also interesting as well. And yeah, I mean, like I said, they introduced all these little things, but then it was too little too late, you know? And that was where they really could have polished up this series a bit more and made it better. I mean, honestly, the whole thing with the sisters was so much better as a story. If you had started with that, like I don't know, Brina getting turned, and then then you could go to the kids or whatever, and they're in the Jaeger, and it's years later, and they are trying to find their parents or whatnot. That would have been a better story than what we got. So, with that said, I know this was going to be a little bit short because there's really not much to this. I think it's 8 episodes. Yeah, it's 8 episodes for season two. So, and by the way, Netflix has canceled it. Netflix, by the way, I don't know if you've heard, they lost about I forget how many $billion they lost. I think it's 50 billion, somewhere around there. Or no, excuse me, they lost $1 billion. That's right. They lost $1 billion in one day from losing subscribers across the board here. So as a result, they've canceled a slew of programming. They've canceled their animation company is gone. They fired everybody. They fired their head of animation. Uh, so the other disappointing thing about this is the animated Bone series, which is a comic, a long-standing comic. It was going to be amazing. They canceled that. They canceled, of course, Will Smith's Bright 2, most likely because of the Oscar thing. I don't think it had anything. Well, also because they're bleeding money like crazy. So this is the whole thing I talked about before, where Netflix had to tighten their belt a bit to survive some stuff, and this was the catalyst for them tightening their belt. Was them losing all these subscribers and losing $1 billion in one day. They are, unfortunately, animation is taking the hit for the good majority of it, which I don't agree with. They should spread it out evenly across the board because there is a lot of shitty, you know, real shitty live action shit that they have. Also, a lot of their reality TV programming, it's got to go away as well. So, but Disney Plus is coming on hard on their heels. Yeah, I mean, Paramount Plus, isn't really taking a bite, but it is distracting from Netflix as well, and Netflix is just too expensive, is what's going on. How'd they lose them? From the password thing, yes, from the password thing, Raymond. Thank you. So, yeah, so the whole password sharing, Netflix is no longer allowing this, and I thought it was kinda funny. Someone tweeted out, Netflix had actually tweeted out long ago, I wanna say it was, like, 4 years ago, 2018, about sharing passwords is a good thing, and just as long as you don't tell anybody about it. And I started laughing, because yeah, that's the reason why they lost $1 billion is because of the whole password. You can no longer share passwords with people. Word 789 says Netflix getting too big for its boots. I agree, totally agree with you. Yes, they and honestly, the quality has gone down quite a bit. There is a lot of crap on there, and I've said this before. There is a lot of crap on Netflix, a lot of just shit that you have to dig through in order to find stuff. I'm actually going through and digging through old series right now, like, am I going through? Yeah, I am going through Netflix for this. Oh, so Peaky Blinders, I never got on board that wagon when it first set sail, but now I am. I'm watching Peaky Blinders. I'm in season 2 right now, and I'm enjoying it. It was a very big surprise for me that Tom Hardy was in season 2. I didn't know he was in there, and, um, I always love seeing Tom Hardy chew up scenery, especially in period pieces and stuff like this, and he isn't disappointed in Peaky Blinders. Neither is anyone else either, so Word 79 says maybe they need to stop churning out these crap movies that they make and fund. Like some of the crap they are. Yeah, well, that's what's going on right now is they are cutting out a lot of fat at the moment. Don't be surprised. I mean, this is only the first week. It hasn't even been a week since they lost the $1 billion, and they are already just slashing the shit out of everything. Like I said, the entire animation department gone. Their head of animation programming, they fired him and got rid of all the slew of programming that they were doing for animation. Gone. They've cut out some movies that they were working on. They've cut out a couple of series here and there. Stranger Things is going to be ending after season 5. That's already planned, so they're going to be losing that. Lock and Key. This is its last season. Of course, this is all before this whole thing went down. So they're going to be losing that um, amount of money that they have to pay for that. There's a couple other places too that they're going to be cutting some corners here and there. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting couple of months to see what happens with Netflix and what comes out of it. Don't be surprised if Umbrella Academy, if this is the last season of Umbrella Academy as well, because I don't think it's going to survive. Usually, season 3 is where you're done with Netflix series anyway, even popular ones. They either get 3 seasons or they get 5 seasons. I mean, Peaky Blinders had 5 seasons, and I was like, okay, that's pretty decent. Same thing with Stranger Things. They're getting 5 seasons. Lock and Key only got 3. I'm pretty sure that Umbrella Academy is only gonna get 3 here. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh, and also Millar World. Mark Millar, who does a lot of comics and stuff like that. He did Jupiter Ascending, which got canceled because it was just really shitty. So the movies that he was in deals with Netflix, I think a good majority of those have been canceled, but there's two that had survived because they were already too far into it. Yes, Elliot Page is going to be in season 3 as yeah. Word 789 says they need to understand we are going into a recession and everyone is just trying to save money with every yeah, I don't know if we're going into a recession. It's a manufactured uh it's a manufactured financial crisis is what's going on. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Word 79 says, but they seem to be panicking over it. People are cutting memberships and subscriptions for everything, not just Netflix. Well, I know here in California, gas prices went way up and then they just kind of went down just a little bit. And so a lot of people don't have room for stuff like Netflix anymore. I mean, $15 a month is $15 a month. So, I mean, you're going to start cutting shit like that out, especially when you're paying, what we pay in California here for gas, which is ridiculous, even at Costco prices. So, yeah. And speaking of Costco, I think Costco memberships actually went up because Costco gas is cheap. So, oh man. Yeah, I kind of went into a little more tangent than I wanted to on all of this, but hey, it's been a while since I've been on here. So, and speaking of which, what else do I have going on the rest of this week? Well, not a whole lot because it's still, there's not a lot of stuff that's out there that's new. So, but tomorrow is going to be episode 5 of Moon Knight. That's right. So, Moon Knight, I'll be covering that tomorrow night. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'll be off. Sunday, I will be back on Sunday. I know last Sunday, this last Sunday, I was off because that's actually Orthodox Easter, the real Easter, as I call it. And of course, I went with family and all that kind of stuff. So, and yes, Obi-Wan will be at the end of May. So we'll have Obi-Wan as well. Miss Marvel is also supposed to be coming out in May as well, if I remember correctly. Actually, let me go take a look over at a little place called suspendedfanimation.com. And I can tell you for a fact what's coming out because you know what's there? There's a schedule of all the stuff that's coming out. Schedule. That's right. Oh, Miss Marvel's in June. That's what it was. Miss Marvel's in June. So, Star Trek Strange New Worlds comes out on May 5th. No one cares. Obi-Wan comes out May 25th. Stranger Things comes out May 27th. At least part 1 does. And then part 2 is on July 1st. The Boys comes out on June 3rd. And then Miss Marvel comes out on June 8th. And Umbrella Academy on June 22nd. So June's going to be a pretty busy month, happening there. Hey, Penn, how's it going? Raymond says, I'm waiting for on your unbearable weight review. Yeah, I'm going to do it eventually, Raymond. I just haven't gone out to see it yet. So that's in the cards. I'll probably see it this weekend, and that'll probably be next week's Is It Worth My Time? Just because I don't consider that it's not reality, quite honestly. So it's fiction. I'm looking forward to it. Um, like I said, Everything Everywhere All at Once was a great movie. I really liked it. I covered that. I did have a viewer, also a friend of mine, that did bring up an interesting point that I didn't even think of. And then when thought about it again, I was like, yeah, actually, you're right on this. Is that the the family in Everything Everywhere All at Once was more Anglofied than anything else. And so it really wasn't your typical Asian family, I guess you could say, or not even a typical Asian family. It wasn't an Asian family dynamic. It was more of an Anglofied Asian family dynamic, if that makes any sense. And I say this as a white person, mind you. So the person who told me this does belong in an Asian family. She's from an Asian family, so yes. And I totally agreed with her because and I thought back and I'm like, yeah, you're right on that. That's actually an interesting point. So yeah. Anyway, with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody joining me today in the chat or tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, oops, hang on a sec. Let me see what I got here. Raymond says my Asian friend said it was the most Asian movie they've seen. Yes, the movie was itself, but the family dynamics kind of wasn't. You know. Anyway, thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below here. If you can hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com, like Penn has put up in the chat there. Take a look at the schedule. I change it out every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. All right. Yeah, it's been a little while. Sorry. There's been a lot of shit going on. Life gets in the way, that kind of stuff. So thanks, Penn, for posting all that up. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I will see you again tomorrow for Moon Knight. We've only got 2 episodes left, 5 and 6, and that's it. After that, we have a little bit of a wait for Miss Marvel. But until tomorrow night, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that you need to travel across Australia when it probably would have just been faster to swim in the Jaeger. I don't know. That seems like it would have been a lot faster. I don't know. Beats me. Anyway, it's canceled anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. Yeah, I'm liking Moon Knight as well, Penn. I'm glad you are as well. Have a good night, and I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, get those vaccine shots, get those boosters as well, because they don't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everybody. Thank you. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night, and take care. Good night, everybody.